Councillors, can I have your attention, please? I welcome you all to this meeting of the Cardinia Shire Council and declare the meeting open. We will commence the meeting with the following reflection. I would ask those gathered to join us now for a few moments of silence as we reflect on our roles in this chamber. Please use this opportunity for reflection, prayer or thought to focus on our shared intention to work respectfully together for the well-being of our whole community. Thank you. The Cardinia Shire Council respectfully acknowledges that we are on the traditional land of the Boonwurrung and Wurundjeri people and pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Now, before we proceed to tonight's agenda, I wish to acknowledge the service of our previous Mayor, Councillor Jeff Springfield. Councillor Springfield, if you could please come forward. It is with great pleasure that I present you with a small gift in appreciation of your service to the Council over the last 12 months. I hope that I'll be able to continue your good work. We also have a photo album to present to serve as a lasting reminder of the year that you served as Mayor, and I will present this to you separately. Thank you again for the last 12 months.
Thank you.
It's coming, Graham. I'll ask Councillor Springfield if you would like to say a couple of words. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you very much for this gift on behalf of the Council. Just a couple of words to say. It was an honour and a privilege to serve this Council in the position of Mayor for a second time. It's a great team. We're halfway through this Council term now, and I really look forward to the leadership that yourself and Deputy Mayor Kowaczyk will be presenting for the next year. And I think we've got a great team. We've got a lot of work in front of us, a lot of issues in the world that we can't have control over, but working together, we can deliver what's best in the best way we can for our local community here. So thank you, and not just the councillors, but thank you to the staff and especially the executive team that we work with. Really appreciate everything you do for us. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councillor Springfield. We have some apologies. We have an apology from Councillor Owen for this evening's meeting as he is taking a leave of absence. Can I have a motion, please, to adopt the minutes of the previous meetings as listed? I have a mover, Councillor Cameron, and a seconder, Councillor Davies. All those in favour? Against? I declare this carried. Declarations of interest. Councillors, are there any declarations of interest? Councillor Ross.
I just have one in the notice of motion that I'll be leaving the room for. Thank you.
Thank you for declaring, Councillor Ross. Ordinary business. The items on today's agenda are as follows. Item 6.2.1, appointment of committee members to Bunyip Hall and Gembrook Community Centre Community Asset Committees. May I have a mover, please? Councillor Davies. May I have a seconder? Councillor Moore. Mover, would you like to speak?
Thank you, Mayor. I move that Council adopts the officer's recommendations.
Thank you. Seconder?
I have no further information on that. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you. Would any other councillors like to speak? No? Thank you. So we'll put this to a vote. All those in favour? Against? I declare this carried. Thank you. Our next item is 6.2.2, appointment of community asset committees for recreation reserves. May I have a mover, please? Councillor Davies, and a seconder? Councillor Kowaczyk. I'll go to the mover to speak.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that Council adopts the officer's recommendations. Thank you.
Thank you. Seconder, would you like to speak?
Nothing to add at this time. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Would any other councillors like to speak? No others. We will take a vote. All those in favour? All those against? I declare this carried. Thank you. Item 6.2.3, Declaration of Special Charge Scheme, Sealing the Hills, St George's, Beaconsfield Upper Catchment. Before we consider this item and the following items dealing with these special charge schemes, I would like to say a few words and raise an important issue on behalf of our community. Cardinia Shire, together with the Shire of Yarra Ranges, whose Mayor, Jim Child, is present with us tonight. Thank you for joining us. We are currently seeking immediate clarification about the future status of funding for the $150 million multi-year Sealing the Hills project. The project received bipartisan support and $150 million was committed by the Australian federal government in 2019. Without any consultation with council and without any consultation with our community, the future funding of this project is now uncertain. This funding is absolutely vital to support our community and council to seal hundreds of kilometres of roads across the Dandenong Ranges and surrounds. This funding is also vital to deliver essential improvements to both road safety and access for our residents, tourists and members of emergency services. This funding is also absolutely vital for residents to safely access their homes, their schools, their community facilities and local townships, as well as improving safety and access for members of our emergency services. While the projects on tonight's agenda are funded, there is still $128 million in outstanding funding promised to our community to complete the entire Sealing the Hills program. Council is working hard to complete works already underway and progressing planning for this much needed infrastructure project. Cardinia Shire Council and Shire of Yarra Ranges are advocating strongly for funding towards the entirety of this program. And on behalf of our communities, we'd be extremely disappointed should federal funding not be available for the entirety of this vitally important road safety program. Thank you for your patience. It is important that we get the message to our residents about this important matter. So just to confirm that we were on item 6.2.3. May I have a mover, please? Thank you, Councillor Springfield. And a seconder? Councillor Kowalczyk. Mover, would you like to speak?
Thank you, ma'am. And yes, I do just move the officer's recommendation. But just a couple of words to reiterate what you've just shared with us. This is something that both Cardinia Shire Council and Yarra Ranges Council worked for very hard in the background to get recognised on a federal level the vast importance of delivering funding to help upgrade our unsealed road network. And so it's just so important for me, as we've spoken since 2019 when this funding was announced. You know, every time we get one of these projects off over the line, it's a great day. Just about every council meeting we've had over the past year, I think we've had another announcement for a project. So this is another very special project, sealing St George's catchment in Beaconsfield Upper, and it makes a world of difference to these residents when they have the availability of that funding to help deliver a project like this and seal their road for safety improvements, for health improvements, the reduction of dust and the improvement of amenities is so vitally important. So I'm so happy to support this and hope that my fellow councillors will also. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Springfield. Seconder, would you like to speak?
Nothing further to add, Mayor, other than to say I support your comments and those of Councillor Springfield. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kowalczyk. Would any other councillors like to speak? Councillor Ross.
Thank you, Mayor. I must say special charge schemes, I prattle on about this all the time, but they make it possible to build so many more roads that we wouldn't be able to build if we had to totally fund them ourselves. And it's an excellent way of getting the community involved to see what they would like to do and getting an impression back. And I think this particular project had, it's either 76 or 78% support from the residents, which is excellent to see that the majority of them see it as a real benefit and are happy to put in some money towards the upgrading of their roads. And particularly in the hills, as everybody knows, in the hills you only need one big downpour and basically the water runs across the roads. It creates ruts in the road if it goes up and down. And within hours of grading, it can deteriorate back to what it looked like before the graders had even come. So being able to upgrade these roads so they don't have that situation happening is an excellent result. And I look forward, hopefully, to see more and more of these happen in the future with supported funding. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Ross. Would any other councillors like to speak? No, I'll go back to the mover. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I have nothing further to add. Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll put this to a vote. All those in favour? All those against? I declare that carried. Thank you. Item 6.2.4, Special Charge Scheme Leg Catchment. May I have a mover, please? Are you moving the officer's recommendation?
Thank you, Mayor. I'll move the officer's recommendation.
Thank you. May I have a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Moore. Anything further, mover? Would you like to speak?
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of quick words here. This leg catchment in Emerald, I know it well. I've had many complaints over the years from residents with this road who it does have a lot of issues in the topology. When you get to Emerald in this area here of this, it is a lot of steep hills on either side. Associated drainage network. This road catchment will benefit so much from this sealing project. So I really hope to see this proceed and go ahead. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Springfield. Seconder, would you like to speak?
Thank you, Mayor. I just reinforce the Councillor Springfield's comments. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Are there any other councillors who would like to speak? No, I'll go back to the mover to sum up. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. And in summary, once again, so important to see these projects get off the ground and the huge improvement and difference this makes to our residents' lives when we can deliver a project like this and seal a road that's constantly got issues, constantly got potholes and drainage issues happening. And there's no quick fix for it except for sealing it. So really happy to see this proceed. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Springfield. All those in favour? All those against? I declare that carried. Item 6.2.5, Special Charge Scheme, Stony Creek 2. May I have a mover, please? Councillor Springfield, are you moving the officer's recommendation?
I will move the officer's recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Ross, thank you. I'll go to the mover. Would you like to speak?
Thank you, Mayor. I have nothing further to add except that this the residents of this road will also benefit greatly from seeing this road sealed. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. I'll go to the seconder, Councillor Ross.
Nothing further. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Would any other councillors like to speak? No. I'll go back to the mover to sum up.
Nothing further to add. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. So I'll put that to a vote. All those in favour? All those against? I declare that carried. Thank you. Item 6.2.6, Notice of Intention, Sealing the Hills, Hillside Dorchester Cockatoo Catchment Special Charge Scheme. May I have a mover, please? Councillor Kowaczyk, are you moving the officer's recommendation?
Yes, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. May I have a seconder? Councillor Cameron. Thank you. I'll go to the mover to speak.
Just would like to move the officer's recommendations. Nothing further to add on that.
Thank you. Councillor Cameron, would you like to speak?
Thank you, Mayor. I have nothing further to add. Thank you.
Thank you. Would any other councillors like to speak? Councillor Ross. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a unique area, because I know going back, I think over 20 years ago, there was a special charge scheme that was tried to get up in this area. And unfortunately in the day, it didn't get up because a lot of the properties have a front and a back rear access to roads. So therefore, for some of them, they were going to have to pay both sides of their property at the back and the front. So it made it in an area where people probably can't afford to pay all that for 2 frontages. It didn't get up, but it's great to see with the funding support that we've got in the hills from the federal government that it makes it more viable and possible to do these roads, which would possibly wouldn't get done, particularly if council had to pay. It'd probably take us 200 years to build them all, which wouldn't be around. We wouldn't be around to see, and the people who live there wouldn't be around. Anyway, I just think it's a really good thing, and I must say that area there is really, really prone to what I was saying before, flooding, where you get one big rain, the water runs across the road, ruts come. It's just terrible. Anyway, this is a really good project, so I look forward to seeing what it looks like when it's finished. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Ross. Any other speakers? I'll go to Councillor Springfield.
Thank you, Mayor. Look, and just to highlight the importance of this catchment here, Hillside Road and Cockatoos probably have had some of the most complaints throughout my time on council with, because it is in a unique space. It is such a difficult road to manage. It was never constructed properly when it was first developed many decades, long before Cardinia Shire Council ever existed. And the only way to really deliver good outcomes for this community is to see this project to fruition. I really hope to see that get all the way and have this road's catchment sealed. But such an important project within the hills there, within the Cockatoo, is this particular catchment. So thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Springfield. Are there any other speakers? No, I'll go back to the mover to sum up. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Councillor Ross and Councillor Springfield, for the detail you provided and for commenting on this item. I just would like to note that if this motion is approved tonight, Council will commence formal consultation process to initiate a special charge scheme by proceeding to give notice of its intention to declare a special charge to part fund the works. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Kowazik. We'll now put this to a vote. All those in favour? Against? I declare that carried. Item 6.2.7, request for leave of absence for Councillor Owen. May I have a mover, please? Are you moving the officer's recommendation?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, I wish to move the council officer's recommendation.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Moore, thank you. I'll go back to the mover to speak.
Thank you, Mayor. I confirm that I move that the council officer's recommendation, this being that council notes the request received from Councillor Brett Owen for a leave of absence for the period of 9th November to 26th of November, and that council retrospectively approves this request. And further note that Councillor Owen has requested that he not receive his councillor allowance during this period of leave. Councillor Owen did advise that his request for a leave of absence is based on his nomination as a candidate for the forthcoming state election. And under the Local Government Act, there are provisions regarding a councillor requesting leave in such circumstances, stipulating that any reasonable request for such leave must be granted. So, in conclusion, I certainly wish Councillor Owen all the best, and am very comfortable accepting his leave of absence without pay. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Davies. I'll now move to the seconder, Councillor Moore, to speak.
Thank you, Mayor, and it's an honour to second this item, and I also want to wish Councillor Owen all the best in the upcoming state elections, and thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Moore. Do we have any other councillors who wish to speak? Nope, I'll go back to the mover. Would you like to sum up in any way?
Thank you, Mayor. I'll just confirm that we're moving the officer's recommendations. Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll take a vote. All those in favour? Thank you. All those against? I declare that carried. We will now move over to item 6.2.8, Cardinia Shire Audit and Risk Committee for presentation to Council by the CEO. May I have a mover, please? Councillor Kowazik.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that Council note the report for the Audit and Risk Committee activities presented to Council by the Chair, Michael Said.
Thank you. May I have a seconder, please? Councillor Davies. Thank you. I'll go back to the mover to speak.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Councillor Davies, for the second. Under section 54(5) of the Local Government Act, the Audit and Risk Committee must prepare a biannual report, which the Chief Executive Officer must table at the next council meeting. This is the fourth of these reports and covers the ARC meetings since the formation of the new council in November 2020. As councillors will know, but some of the public may not, the key objective and purpose of the Audit and Risk Committee, as stated in the ARC Charter, is to provide support to council in discharging its oversight responsibilities related to financial and performance reporting, risk management, fraud prevention systems and control, internal and external audit assurance services, and council's compliance with its policies and legislative and regulatory requirements. I'll leave it there. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Kowaczyk. I will now move to the seconder. See if you'd like to speak.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll reserve my right to speak.
Thank you. Are there any other councillors who wish to speak? No. Councillor Davies, would you like to speak?
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to echo Councillor Kowalczyk's efficient summary, and also thank you, Mayor, Councillor Radford, for stepping in for me when I've been unable to attend due to maternity leave. So this is an incredible committee, and it's very important that as councillors we take ownership of our audit and risk and finances. So thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Kowaczyk, would you like to sum up?
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have a lot to add, just to say that the Audit and Risk Committee provides great value to council in their sort of assessment and diligence, that they look over policies before they're adopted. They look at when we're renewing and reviewing policies, and they often provide a lot of great input. So I just want to thank the councillor members who have been on it in the past, and also the independent members. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll put that to a vote. All those in favour? All those against? I declare that carried. Thank you. Item 6.2.9, appointment of delegates. May I have a mover, please? Councillor Springfield.
I'd like to move the officer's recommendation.
Thank you. May I have a seconder? Councillor Ross. I'll go to the mover, please.
It's a very important function for us councillors to serve on the respective committees and subcommittees that we do, just like the Audit and Risk Committee, as Councillor Kowaczyk was speaking to previously. So yeah, so it's an important thing for us to do and undertake and review each year. And today is just the process of us confirming what the next year's appointments will be for the continuing year. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Springfield. I'll go to the seconder to speak, please.
Thank you, Mayor. It's really important, this drafting of the people who are being chosen to be the delegates on different committees. It gives people a chance to get in further into detail and represent council in these different areas. And also too, it allows people to take their passion or the thing that they find really important to them and take it to another level on council. We're a council that doesn't have portfolios, so therefore we all get to hear everything in our briefing sessions, and we all get to contribute. But this gives you an opportunity to ask your fellow councillors about something that you're really passionate about, that you can get involved, whether it be a library, in the past waste, it could be disability, those sort of things. So anyway, I just think it's a wonderful opportunity, and I think it's a really exciting year ahead. Instead of being able to having to be online all the time on all our committees, we actually might be able to go along and meet a few people and do some networking and get to know what other people think, and we get to share with other people and build some relationships, and we're very good at that at Cardinia. We do like to go and share with other people and learn what they're doing. So I think it's great coming out of COVID that we can actually act upon these delegations. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Ross. Do we have any other councillors who would like to speak? Nope, I'll go back to the mover to sum up, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I have nothing further to add.
Thank you. We'll put that to the vote. All those in favour? All those against? I declare that carried. Item 6.2.10, update of delegations to staff. May I have a mover, please? Councillor Davies.
Thank you, Mayor. May I move the officer's recommendations?
Thank you. Do I have a seconder, please? Councillor Ross. Thank you. I'll ask the mover. Do you have anything further?
Thank you, Mayor. Council last executed an instrument of delegation to staff members in July 2021, and since that date, there's been several amendments made to various acts and regulations that are referred to in that instrument, as well as several changes to the structure of the organisation. And as a result, the instrument of delegation to staff required updating to reflect the legislative changes and the staff changes. There's a 37-page instrument attached to the meeting minutes tonight. Most council decisions are not made at council meetings. Effective functioning of a council is not possible if they were. Instead, most of the decision-making power is allocated by formal delegations to specific positions within the organisation. So, in conclusion, I would like to draw the council's attention to the updates to the delegations and would like to show my support. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Davies. I will now go to the seconder to speak.
Nothing further, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to speak on this? Thank you. Would you like to?
Thank you, Mayor. I confirm I wish to move the council officer's recommendations.
Thank you. So I'll put this to a vote. All those in favour? All those against? I declare that carried. Item 6.2.11, Notice of Motion, Impact of Weather and Maintenance Response. May I have a mover, please? Councillor Cameron. Are you moving the officer's recommendation?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, I'm moving the officer's recommendation.
Thank you. Can I please ask for a seconder? Councillor Springfield. Thank you. I'll go to the mover to speak.
Thank you, Mayor. I wish to move a motion that council note this report in response to Notice of Motion 1075. This report has been prepared in response to item number 1 of that Notice of Motion and outlines the impact of weather on council's roads, assets and what we've done in response to our performance.
Thank you. I'll now move to the seconder to speak.
Thank you, Mayor. And thank you to Councillor Cameron, who first raised this notice of motion last month. It's such an important thing to note at this point in time. I think residents don't need to be told this, but we're experiencing a lot of defects in our roads, and especially unusually too, a lot of defects in our sealed roads due to such an increase in wet weather. And the problems that have been associated with this. So I'm hearing it on a daily basis. I'm sure all councillors are, and residents can reverberate with this sentiment. It's a really shocking state for them out there. So this report is here and I encourage everyone to have a read through it, to have a look into it. Just a call on action from the state government to deliver the appropriate resources into their managed roads, and most of the arterial roads where we're experiencing some of the greatest issues are on the Department of Transport managed roads, but so also to note what we're doing on our sealed road network. And look, our team have gone up and above and beyond wherever they can to mitigate these issues when they present as quickly as possible. And we're having regular updates from our operations team on this, and we are expending a lot more budget than we have in previous years in order to meet this need at this point in time, but rightfully so, because we have to address this issue and we are experiencing a unique situation. But look, I won't speak, I'm running out of time to speak, so I'm just going to encourage everyone to read through this report, get a bit more information, and just please know that council is understands the issues, and we're working hard to rectify them. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Springfield. Would any other councillors like to speak? Councillor Davies.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to echo Councillor Springfield's sentiments about the continued efforts that are being made. I'd like to draw the council's attention to page 165 of the council document. The report refers to work programming, and I quote, "Council proactively is inspecting the road network in accordance with the road management plan." That's a good outcome. Proactive inspections are enabling the road network to be inspected and defects identified early and reduce risk to the public and preserve the asset from further deterioration. Reactive inspections are where council receive requests from the public and then are managed, and both proactive and reactive inspections are being completed by trained council surveillance officers. predictive grading maintenance program is designed for proactive maintenance on the unsold network, and grading intervals have been set on historical levels. As a councillor, I am very confident that the level of proactive road maintenance is on the local road network is achieving the requirements of the road management plan and working beyond. So I feel that this is an excellent example of some great work being done, and I do want to pass on my gratitude to the council officers, including Mr. Ben Wood, so thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Davies. Any other councillors wish to speak? Councillor Kowazic.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Radford. I also just wanted to thank Councillor Cameron for first raising this notice of motion and also withdrawing it tonight now that it's come back. Just very interesting when you look at the table, which sort of provides some long-term snapshot forecasts or sort of recorded what we've recorded in the past. You see the long-term average defects recorded per month. We average 58 a month. Now in winter that goes up to 83. You can see obviously that's an increase there. This winter it's 131. So on a standard month, that's an increase of 125%. On a winter month, on a wet month, it's an increase of 58%. So I want to thank our staff. I know they're up against it, battling the conditions. I know our community has had it up to here, complaining about potholes, but I just want them to know, and I hope that Councillor Cameron's notice of motion tells them that we are responding to them. If you look at the long-term average business days to close defects, about 14 days, 14 business days to get to defects. This winter we're down to 4 days. So we are responding. We have increased our response times and we are doing a much better job than we've done in the past. So I just wanted the community to know that and also to thank the councillors involved for bringing up this notice of motion. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Kowazic. Any other councillors who would like to speak? No, I will go back to the mover to sum up. Thanks.
Thank you, Mayor. In summing up, the weather conditions since the start of May 2022 have been extremely adverse for roads. This has resulted in a record level of defects in the council managed road network and a large number of significant defects in the state managed arterial networks. Council has significantly lifted work output in response to the situation, including doubling the number of hours worked on sealed road maintenance and by the in-house work crews, liaising heavily with the Department of Transport and writing to the Minister of Roads to try and push for more timely action on state arterial roads. Council have maintained an average turnaround of 4 business days, as Councillor Kowazic suggested, and as a consequence to that, there's been a very high workload. Council are pleased to see that DOT are starting to address the backlog of work on our busy arterial roads and acknowledges that roads are extremely important to our community and are committed to continuing to do all we can to deliver timely and effective repair issues on our network and to continue to work with DOT in advocating for timely repair of the state managed arterial roads. I'd like to thank Councillor Springfield for seconding this notice of motion and Councillors Kowazic and Davies for their input. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Cameron. We'll now put this to a vote. All those in favour? Against? I declare that carried. Thank you. Item 6.3.1, Rates and Charges Financial Hardship Policy. May I have a mover, please? Councillor Ross. Are you moving the officer's recommendation?
I'll move the officer's recommendation that council adopts the revised rates and charges financial hardship policy and application form, which now includes the special charge scheme debtors. Thank you.
Thank you. May I have a seconder? Councillor Kowazic. Thank you. I'll go to the mover to speak.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Councillor Kowazic. I did see your hand go up at the same time. I must say this is a really, really important policy for us, because if you go to our council plan under 5.1, we practice responsible leadership, and in the 2 different clauses under that, to manage our finances responsibly and leave a positive legacy for the future generations, and 2, to strive to be custom focused organisation and have a great place to work. This is a really important policy, and just giving you a little bit of a background, that Council approve is being requested for the attached policy, which has been amended to incorporate the special charge scheme debtors. The responsibility section has been amended to provide the General Manager of Customer, People and Performance Delegation to approve waivers of rates and charges up to $20,000 compared to the previously required approval from the Chief Executive Officer for all amounts. When we go down to the conclusion, we have in this that Council approves the hardship policy, that it be updated, and approves the waivers of rates and charges up to $20,000 during really tough times at the moment, when people are being challenged by interest rates, the cost of living, and potentially if people do lose jobs, they're going to be really struggling to find the money to pay certain things that they owe for. And as a council, this gives us the leeway for them to put an application form and have it processed and see where it takes it. But it does give the authority to the council. I think it's really, really important that we do connect with the community during these times, and we do give them an opportunity that there is an outlet there for them, so they don't feel like the whole world's against them at the time, but we can show them some compassion and see what we can do to help them. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Ross. I'll move to the seconder to speak.
Thank you, Mayor Radford, and thank you, Councillor Ross. I think you summed that up very well. And I do think that with, as you said, cost of living pressures and obviously rising inflation becoming a major issue, not just throughout Cardinia, but also throughout the world, it's prudent that council moves to ensure stronger protections exist for residents who enter into payment agreements with council. And obviously that's not only for rates, as it has been in the past, but also now for special charge schemes, which have been a large part of our agenda tonight. And we know that's going to have a big impact on our community. So I hope my fellow councillors support this tonight. I think it's the fair, reasonable and equitable thing to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kowaczyk. Are there any other councillors who would like to speak to this? Nope, I'll go back to the mover to sum up, please.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Councillor Kowaczyk. I know all councillors realise that this is something that they can offer the residents if they get, presented with people who are really doing it tough, and we'll see what we can do to help out. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Ross. We'll now put this to a vote. All those in favour? Against? I declare that carried. Thank you. Item 6.4.1, Contract 18028, Extension, Neutral Vendor Managed Services. May I have a mover, please? Councillor Davies.
Thank you, Mayor. I move the council officer recommendations.
Thank you. Can I call for a seconder, please? Councillor Ross, thank you. I'll go to the mover to speak.
Thank you, Mayor. The officer recommendations that the council extends contract CT 18028 Neutral Vendor Managed Services to Commensura Proprietary Limited for a further term of 11 months with an expiry date of 30 September 2023. MAV, the Municipal Association Victoria's procurement group, has advised Cardinia that an extension is available. The MAV procurement creates collaborative contracts to enable best value outcomes for councils to utilise at their discretion. Cardinia Shire has used the Neutral Vendor Managed Service contract since 2018, and it's had remarkable success. The contract allows Cardinia to utilise the Commensura product, which acts as a conduit connecting temporary labour hire agencies to council whenever there's a business need. This enables staff to seek the best possible candidates at the best possible hourly rate in an efficient way. Council's current contract agreement expires 9 November 2022, and in seeking endorsement, we'll extend this agreement to align with the updated MAV expiry date of 30th of September 2023. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kowaczyk. I'll go to the seconder to speak.
Nothing further, thank you, Mayor. I think Councillor Davies has summed that up well. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Ross. Would any other councillors like to speak? No, I'll go back to the mover to sum up.
Thank you, Mayor. I am confident that in accordance with our council plan that we're practicing responsible leadership, managing our finances responsibly and leaving a positive legacy for further generations, and striving to be a customer-focused organisation and a great place to work by supporting our staff with this recommendation to extend the contract. Thank councillors, I seek your support. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll put this to a vote. All those in favour? Against? I declare that carried. Item 6.4.2, Contract 22025 Feature Survey Package. May I have a mover, please? Councillor Springfield.
I would like to move the officer's recommendation.
Thank you. Can I call for a seconder? Councillor Kowalczyk. Thank you. I'll go to the mover to speak.
I have nothing further to add. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. I'll go to the seconder. Would you like to speak?
Nothing further. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Any other councillors wish to speak? No. We'll put this to a vote. All those in favour? Against? I declare that carried. Thank you. Item 6.4.3, Contract 22032 Pavement Renewal Works for 2022 to 23. May I have a mover, please? Councillor Davies, and a seconder, please. Councillor Davies, yes.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that Council award the tender submitted by Downer EDI Works Proprietary Limited to undertake the works associated with Contract 22-032 Pavement Renewal Works on Tumuk Valley Road in Pakenham, Bales, Coralyn Road in Coralyn, and Heads Road in Yanathan for the contracted sum of $2,236,090.57 excluding GST, and secondly, that the remaining tenderers are advised accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you. May I ask for a seconder, please? Councillor Kowalczyk. Thank you. I'll go to the mover to speak.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Councillor Kowalczyk, for seconding. The 3 roads under consideration within this contract have been identified as a high priority for treatment under the Council's asset management systems. And via discussion with Council's road maintenance team, the roads identified had amongst the highest for maintenance costs for the Shire. So the report provides consideration for the appointment of a contractor to undertake works to reconstruct the road pavement on the 3 roads. The proposed works involve pavement rehabilitation and construction, drainage improvements, and other associated works. And the tender for all 3 roads submitted by Downer EDI Works is the most advantageous for Council. It provides the best value for money and whilst providing excellent service by a quality contractor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Davies. I'll now ask the seconder if you'd like to speak.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have a great deal to add, just to say that this will be well appreciated by a community who use these roads frequently. I'm a frequent user of Tumuk Valley Road, and I just think this is good. And when these projects are done, the community will certainly appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kowalczyk. Any other councillors who would like to speak? I see none. I'll go back to the mover to sum up. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. It is recommended that the tender submitted for Tumuk Valley Road in Pakenham, Bales, Coralyn Road in Coralyn, and Heads Road in Yanathan is accepted for $2,236,090.57. That Council accepts this tender and endorses its engagement. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Davies. We'll put this to a vote. All those in favour? Against? I declare that carried. Item 6.4.4, Contract 22-041, Construction of First Grenville Package Phase 1. May I have a mover, please? Councillor Springfield.
I would like to move that Council award contract 22-041 First Grenville Phase 1 to Macca Civil Proprietary Limited for the total amount of $6,855,129.92. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Springfield. Can I call for a seconder? Councillor Moore. Thank you. I'll go back to the mover to speak.
Thank you, ma'am. And this is kind of bookending some of the previous discussions we had. There was a couple of announcements of the declarations of special charge schemes. This is the very end piece when we've gone through the whole community engagement side of things. We've got everyone on board, and now we get to a point where we award the contract for it. So just thought it'd be worth mentioning a few notes because again, this ties right into our Sealing the Hills program. Such an important program. this whole section of road here, you know, it's so in need, so it's really well used. Up to 500 plus vehicles a day on First Avenue on a dirt road in Cockatoo. So, so deserving of being sealed. It's going to improve the amenities, the drainage network, all across the board down there. So, yep, really hoping to see this proceed and get some bitumen on the road surface there and make Cockatoo a better place. So, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Springfield. I'll now go to the seconder to speak. Thank you, Councillor Moore.
Thank you, Mayor, and it's an honour to second this particular item with my fellow councillor, Councillor Springfield. I know this road very, very well. This First Avenue is a unusually shaped drainage nightmare. To actually construct this road is going to be a very difficult job to do. So I wish the contractor well on this, because it's one of those things that's going to be very difficult to get the drains right, everything sloping in the right directions. And I know this was on a #1 list of complaints for repairs to this road, particularly during the winter months. So I think the residents particularly in First Avenue, are going to be very thankful to see this particular road constructed. So I have no hesitation in seconding this. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Moore. Are there any other councillors who would like to speak? Councillor Ross, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Councillor Springfield and Moore, in relation to speaking on this. I personally have driven up and down here many, many times, and this is one of those areas which, again, was some of the properties on First Avenue have a frontage and a back to a road where they have to pay for both to get the sealing of the roads. Now, without the funding, like $6.8 million, I mean, if we take $100 million in rates, that's 6.8% of our rates for one package without the federal funding. So that just goes to show just how important additional support and partnerships are with this. I must say, I follow Councillor Moore's summation. I've had 4-wheel drive lawnmowers that can't get out of there, that get bogged. I've had my car go up the street at one stage, which couldn't go up the road because it was just loose pebbles in some of the area, and the whole lot of it was just terrible. And the residents who have been there for a long time, they remind us at times that at one stage, when councils used to take responsibility for all of the roads in the Shire, or the majority of them except highways, there was a time was to be built going back 40 years ago. Nevertheless, council can't afford to find that sort of money. But nevertheless, this is excellent. These people will not know themselves. Their life will change with this, because when you see that what the cars have to go through going up and down there when the conditions are really, really bad, and quite often on those areas that if you do have a problem, there's not a whole lot of options how to get out of there either. So by making these roads, it'll just make it possible for them to have many different avenues, and I'm sure their houses as well will benefit so much, and their driveways and the whole lot, because at the moment, as we continue to build roads, quite often the driveways and everything get out of kilter. We build the roads higher, and then the culverts that go over have almost a jump where they go up and down. So their cars really, really struggle unless you have 4-wheel drives to get out of there. This will give them something really consistent so they can go and look after their vehicles and get in and out of their roads. So anyway, I look forward to seeing what happens. And as Councillor Moore said, this will be awesomely challenging for the people who are doing it, but I'm sure they've factored that into the price. So I look forward to seeing what they do. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Ross. Are there any other councillors who would like to speak? I'll go back to the mover to sum up, please.
Thank you, Mayor. And besides just reiterating the fact that, you know, such an important package to see delivered, it means the world to the community out there, the residents that live in these areas. So I really hope to see this proceed. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. We'll put this to a vote. All those in favour? Against? I declare that carried. Item 6.4.5, Contract 22-038, construction of 2 Nunn Brunt Road Integrated Child and Family Centre. May I have a mover, please? Councillor Davies.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that Council awards Devco Project and Construction Management, Proprietary Limited, Contract 22-038, construction of the Toonan Brunt Road Integrated Child and Family Centre facility for a final tender price, including provisional sums of $6,816,326, excluding GST. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I ask for a seconder, please? Councillor Kowaczyk. Thank you. I'll go back to the mover to speak.
Thank you, Councillor. Thank you, Mayor. The Toonan Brunt Road Integrated Child and Family Centre is located at 49 Fairweather Street in Officer. It's a new early learning facility and will provide a modern and vibrant child and family centre in the fast developing region of Officer. The facility will include areas such as a waiting area, program rooms with equipment including children's toilets, 3 consultation rooms, amenities and storage facilities, staff planning and office space, IT and communication equipment, kitchen staff room, an adjacent external courtyard, a car parking facility, and most importantly, external landscaped activity areas for each of the program rooms. Our Shire is growing rapidly, and the demand for kindergarten services is huge. And what council can do is its best work in building quality facilities, of which is prepared here. The tenders have been assessed against weighted criteria, including the capability, capacity, experience and performance, project program, quality systems, and various other requirements. And a rigorous evaluation of the submitted tenders has been undertaken. So I believe that it is responsible leadership to accept the final tender price, and I can confirm it falls within Council's projected budget allocations. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Davies. I'll now go to the seconder to speak.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Councillor Davies. I'm happy to second this item. I know we're only talking about awarding a contract, but it's hard not to get excited when you think about the project when it's going to be finished. And I know as Ward Councillor, Mayor Radford, and obviously the people of Officer 2 are really excited to have this facility come online. So, yeah, happy to support awarding this contract, but really looking forward to watching this one as it progresses. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kowaczyk. Any other councillors would like to speak? I'll go to Councillor Springfield first. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. And look, just to note that even though this contract it's rather large, it does state here like the entire project will be $10,300,000, but that's not out of any of our rate-based dollars. Just wanted to note for the council here we have the DCPs, the developer contribution, significant funding of $4,800,000 from the whole precinct being developed there. We then have from Department of Education and the VSBA another $4 million, and the Growing Suburbs Fund of $1.5 million. So it's really wonderful to see the state government come and help fund this project along with the developer contributions there to deliver something really needed for the community in the future. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Springfield. I'll go to Councillor Ross.
Thank you, Mayor. It's really exciting to see these things being built, because I know when I first got on council like 14 or 15 years ago, the central ward actually used to encompass Beaconsfield, Officer and Pakenham. And if we had one childcare centre in all of that area being built, it was all exciting. Now we're sort of getting towards the end of our DCPs and you're seeing places pop up all the time. And having between 4 and 6 families a day moving in for the last 14 or 15 years, which is a street a week, this, and as Councillor Kowazik's probably the best one positioned to know this, if you need to take your children along, and probably Councillor Davies too, to these facilities to get checked out. Not everybody has a car and not everybody has public transport that's that good to get them there. So the more that we can position them around, that they can make it more accessible for them, makes their life a whole lot easier. And I must say too, it's really exciting when you see how they make these now. They're so much more progressive in the way that they're the quality that they are, that they deem people, they feel welcome when they go in, and it's a much better facility for the people who work there, who are council staff, quite often the nurses and that, to work into. So I look forward to seeing this built. And as Councillor Springfield said, for people when they see these big figures, the fact that there's a partnership here and the developer contributions come into play means that it's not your ratepayers' money having to go into it. They're actually being paid for by different areas that support this. Anyway, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Ross. Would any other councillors like to speak on this? Nope, I'll go back to the mover to sum up, please.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you to the numerous councillors for speaking and supporting me. I would like to draw your attention to the environmentally sustainable design outcomes, including at least 70% of new Indigenous and drought-proof resistant plants within the landscaped areas, and also the indoor environment components where the windows will be fitted with blinds to minimise glare, good levels of natural light to most of the occupied area, indoor plantings in the reception and wait area and office space. Other components, including the lighting and the material selection, is also being done in accordance with responsible environmental management. I'm very pleased in my review of this contract and this report to vote in support tonight, and I would implore the council to support this contract award with me. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Davies. We'll put this to a vote. All those in favour? Against? I declare that carried. Thank you. Item 6.4.6, Quarterly Financial Report. May I have a mover, please? Councillor Kowalczyk.
I move that council note the report as per the officer's recommendations.
Thank you. Can I ask for a seconder? Councillor Davies. Thank you. I'll go to the mover.
Thank you, Mayor. Nothing further to add.
Thank you. Would you like to add anything?
No, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Would any other councillors like to speak? Okay, we will put this to a vote. All those in favour? Against? I declare that carried. Sorry, my mind went blank just for a second there. Item 6.5.1, Community Engagement Update. May I have a mover, please? Councillor Cameron, are you moving the officer's recommendation?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, I'm moving the officer's recommendation.
Thank you. Can I call for a seconder, please? Councillor Ross. Thank you. I'll go to the mover to speak.
Thank you, Mayor. Community engagement is a process whereby council uses a variety of methods to proactively seek out information and feedback from the community, including their values, concerns, ideas and aspirations. Where possible and when required by legislation, council will include the community in the development and delivery of identified initiatives and projects. This practice establishes an ongoing partnership, ensuring that the community members continue to shape council's decision-making and implementation process. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. I'll now go to the seconder to speak.
I reserve my right to speak. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Ross. Would any other councillors like to speak on this item? Councillor Springfield.
Thank you, Mayor, and just take the opportunity to encourage our community and our residents to jump on our website and have a look at all the live community engagement that's going on for different projects at any one time. There's quite a number up there at the moment. We have a number of Sealing the Hills roads packages up there at the moment for community consultation, which gives people an outline of what's projected to happen and just getting feedback for what community wants. So there's a whole number of projects at any given time, but I was reading this over the weekend of all the different road packages that are sitting there at the moment. So just encourage our councillor colleagues and our community to really have a look at that. And anytime they want to know what's going on in Cardinia, jump on the website, you can find out. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Springfield. Would any other councillors like to speak? No, I'll go back to the seconder. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Just as an example of what was shared by Councillor Springfield, on the very last item that we talked about with the community hub, when you read through the community consultation and engagement has various stakeholders, including user groups, external education departments, service providers, funding departments and council officers have occurred throughout all phases of the planning and design processes for this project. That's just one example of the extent that we go to. So often we put things up, we don't talk about the community consultation process that we've gone through. But if you actually read through the documents, you'll see usually, 99% it will have consultation and communication as one item within inside the item, and you'll be able to read what extent we've gone to make sure that the community have had some input. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Ross. I'll go back to the mover to sum up, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I have nothing further to add. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll put this to a vote. All those in favour? Against? I declare that carried. Thank you. Item 6.5.2, Quarterly Performance and Growth Report, Quarter 1, 2022 to 23. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Davies.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that the performance and growth reports for Quarter 1, 2022 to 23 be received and noted.
Thank you. There's too many 20s in that, I think. May I ask for a seconder? Councillor Moore, thank you. I'll go to the mover to speak.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Councillor Moore, for seconding the motion. 84% of incoming service requests across the organisation have been actioned and closed within our service standards. Whilst this result is below the target of 90%, it should be noted that the organisation is also required to manage staffing difficulties. Although we are now out of a pandemic, the organisation is still experiencing challenges with the strength of our workforce. I look forward to that number hopefully approaching the 90% standard as soon as possible. The service levels achieved for unsealed road-related requests and drainage-related requests this quarter at 92% and 83% respectively. Unsealed road service level exceeded the target of 90%, and this is the highest level in the last 3 years. Congratulations to all staff involved. The ongoing integration between Council's customer relationship management system and Reflect, Council's inspection and maintenance management system, should also result in improving these results further. The service levels for Council's customer support call performance was 48% for the quarter. This is an improvement from last quarter's results and is understood to be due to several initiatives that were implemented to improve the performance and assist with extensions and unforeseen departures of staff. Providing no other staffing issues occur, it is anticipated that further improvement in these results will also be achieved. It is also noted that notable improvements in the results of some local government performance reporting framework service measures. These are being the animals reclaimed and the council meeting attendance figures. It appears that there have also been reductions in performance in some measures, such as the time taken to action food complaints and time taken to action animal requests. Other measures are generally stable. To conclude, the population growth within the Shire, which is one indicator I like to watch closely, it is stable. 4 houses are moving into the Shire per day. Subdivision and land activity has slowed this quarter, and new construction of sealed roads and new construction of footpaths have also been significantly lower of that of the same time last year. For noting and consideration, councillors, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Davies. I'll now go to the seconder to speak.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Councillor Davies, for bringing this item up. I haven't got much more to add. I think Councillor Davies has covered nearly every item on this particular subject, and I want to thank her for picking up all the items, even the 22222s. We did a really fantastic job. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Moore. Would any other councillors like to speak on this item? I'll go back to the mover to sum up, please.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Councillor Moore. Further to the indicators I've already discussed, Council has been very busy advocating for Cardinia. An unusual calendar year where we've had 2 elections, and as the state election approaches, there's been a myriad of promises and indications we've heard from different candidates, and this is something that Council is really excited about and looks forward to working with the new MPs. council has also been progressing major project work across the Shire. I'd like to just conclude by mentioning the great progression on our new Cardinia Youth Hub in the heart of Pakenham, with construction is well underway. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Davies. We'll now put this to a vote. All those in favour? Against? I declare that carried. Thank you. Item 6.5.3, Environment Council Plan Initiatives, Quarterly Report. I'm guessing that's supposed to say. May I have a mover, please? Councillor Kowalczyk.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that council note the report.
Thank you. Can I ask for a seconder? Councillor Springfield. Thank you. I'll go to the mover to speak.
Thank you, Mayor Radford, and also thank you to Councillor Springfield for your second. There are a broad range of projects, services and actions delivering environmental benefits throughout the organisation. While many of these occur within or are led by our Environment and Infrastructure Group, most of the organisation is involved in environmental sustainability to some degree. Within biodiversity, we have the Biodiversity Conservation Strategy. Within climate change, we have the Aspirational Energy Transition Plan and also the newly adopted Climate Change Adaptation Strategy. Within water, we have the Integrated Water Management Plan, and within waste and resource recovery, we have the Waste and Resource Recovery Strategy. Goes without saying, you would think. I just wanted to withdraw this because I wanted to talk about a couple of different projects. The main one being at Eastone Reserve, which is in Pakenham Hills Ward, in the big, what was the old quarry. There's been a desilting wetland project going on there. So I've had a number of community inquiries as to what's going on there. And so as part of our water management plan, the pond there was tested and it was deemed that the water was of low quality. And so part of the strategy has been to desilt the lake, which is also include removing rubbish and a build-up of excess weeds as well. So that's been completed now, and I'll note that the footpath down the bottom of the lake is now open again. The project, however, still continues in that we have some soil around the lake drying out before it can be removed. So I've spoken to our GM, Peter Benezik, about this project a number of times, and our officers are on top of it along with our contractors. So thank you to everyone in the community who's asked me about this, and please feel free to reach out again, but we are certainly on top of it. And I just want to commend everyone involved for the quality of work they've done. I also wanted to touch on the streetlight upgrades. Myself and Councillor Owen moved this a few meetings back, and that's changing mercury vapour lights to LEDs. Just wanted to note there that the report states we aim to have 845 lights replaced by the end of December 2022, which I think is a fantastic result given that this was only recently adopted. And the last one I wanted to touch on is the Green Waste and Red Cross drop-off events. So obviously the Green Waste drop-off events, Council is now funding 6, I think, drop-off events in a calendar year, which is just fantastic. And it means that people who live on larger properties who probably previously have used burning off as a way to get rid of green waste, and we're trying to discourage that, as a sort of as an alternative, we've offered extra free drop-off events for their green waste. So I think that's been well received by the community, and I know that councillors here tonight have been strong supporters of that. Also wanted to talk about the Red Cross drop-off events. Council partnered with the Australian Red Cross for the first time to provide a drop-off event for clothing and homewares, which I think is really, really cool and really important for our community. So that enabled residents to donate unwanted quality items to support a worthwhile cause. The Red Cross donation drop-off event was held on the 10th of September. It was highly successful in attracting 126 cars and more than 32 cubic metres of donated items. Donated clothing, accessories and homewares were then sorted and distributed to Red Cross stores to help raise funds for Red Cross programs. And I think we're also having another one in the lead up to Christmas. So I just encourage the community to keep their eye out for that. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Kowalczyk. I'll now go to the seconder to speak, please.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Councillor Kowalczyk, for moving this item. It's a great report we get. The Environment Council Plan initiatives and highlight some of the great, initiatives on the environmental aspects that we're utilising within our council plan. I'm just going to make quick mention the Emerald Lake Park Vegetation Management Project, which is with collaboration with the Friends of Emerald Lake Park. And it's a joint collaboration between council and that friends group that just helps move, weeds, woody weeds as well. So a lot of trees apparently are woody weeds and they're best off to get rid of. But more than anything, I just want to highlight the great work that the Friends of Emerald Lake Park do. This project is in its 10th year now, but on Friday, the Friends of Emerald Lake Park celebrated their 21st birthday. So for 21 years, FELP, or the Friends of Emerald Lake Park, great community group, have put their tireless work into maintaining and keeping Emerald Lake Park, or Emerald Lake Precinct, as clean and weed-free as possible. And without their dedicated support and many volunteers like them across Cardinia Shire, we wouldn't have the great outcomes that we do in our open space. They also are so good at sourcing outside funds. So they get grants from the state government in the vicinity of tens of thousands of dollars every year to put towards these projects. And, Emerald Lake Precinct would not be as good a place as it is without their dedicated work over the last 21 years. So I just want to make quick mention of that. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Springfield. Would any other councillors like to speak on this item? Thank you. I'll go back to the mover to sum up, please.
Thank you, Mayor Radford. I'll be brief. Thanks, Councillor Springfield, for your contribution. I regularly, and I'm sure other councillors do, regularly get questions from the community around what we're doing in the environment space. And so I always like to draw their attention to this report because I think it does provide a wonderful summary. Just want to thank our Environment and Heritage team for writing it and for the great work they do. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kowalczyk. We'll now put this to a vote. All those in favour? Against? I declare that carried. Thank you. Item 6.5.4 Major Projects Report. May I have a mover, please? Is that a hand? Yep, Councillor Cameron.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that council note this report. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I ask for a seconder? Councillor Moore. Thank you. I'll go to the mover to speak.
Thank you, Mayor. As part of the reporting process to council, this is a monthly report which provides an update of the status of major projects that are in progress. At present, the construction industry continues to experience material, supply and logistic impacts as an extended impact from COVID-19, as well as current unpredictable international market conditions. Project managers are working closely with contractors to minimise the impact this is having on the delivery of projects, as well as looking at initiatives to assist in fast-tracking construction where possible. The projects include recreation reserves and sporting facilities. It also includes sporting fields, and it also includes roads in the Pakenham Shire. The Princes Highway intersection upgrades at Officer and Brunt Road and the sealing of the hills. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Cameron. I'll go to the seconder to speak. Thank you, Councillor Moore.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Councillor Cameron, for your report on this. I just want to talk about a specific item. I've waited 21 items to go down here before we got to this one, so I think I'm a very patient person by rights, but I'm a little bit excited here, Mayor. There's one particular item. There's a walking track that's in Tynong, our little suburb of Tynong, and there's been a walking track extension. We've been trying to get move on from Quigley Road up to the highway for at least the last 10 years, or maybe 12 since I've been on council. And I note on the report that it's on the top of the list. I hope that means when it's on the top of the list, it means that it's next. I'm not sure whether that's what it means, but I'm just hoping and wishing and hoping as a song would go. But I'm excited about that because the community, every Progress Association meeting I would go to, this track keeps on coming up. When is this extension going to be coming? And I know the staff have mentioned that it is next on the list and it's going to be a fantastic thing to see. That's all I have to say, Mayor.
No, that was great news. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councillor Moore.
Thank
you for sharing that. Are there any other councillors who would like to speak? No, I'll go back to the mover to sum up, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd just like to add a big thank you to Mr. Peter Benezik and his team for the wonderful effort that they've been putting in. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we can all second that. Thank you. Okay, we'll now put this to a vote. All those in favour? Against? I declare that carried. Thank you. So that concludes the discussion of the agenda items for tonight. So we'll now move on to councillor reports. Do councillors have any matters that they would like to report? Councillor Ryan, thank you.
And you all thought I wasn't going to say anything tonight. I do have a voice, and so I'll wrap through fairly quickly. Some of the things that I've attended to, councillors do a lot of work outside with organisations and associations. So Forget Me Not, I visited. That's to do with dementia and Alzheimer's. Fantastic group, very supportive group, and we're encouraging more and more people to attend with their loved ones that are experiencing Alzheimer's or dementia. Seniors Festival week, we went to an opening where we had scones, jam and cream. All of us councillors were in attendance, and also saw a live show, and that was absolutely fantastic because the theatre was full. Which means that people are wanting to come out and enjoy things now. The Women's Friendship Cafe at Living and Learning, that's on every Thursday, and it's open to women that have gone through some difficult situations within their family life, and it's a safe environment for women to attend. The ARIA's concert of calisthenics I attended at Hampton Park. They have around about 180 members, ranging from 2.5 years old up to around about the 65. The 2.5-year-old, to watch her get out there and do her little thing was absolutely gorgeous. So that was the highlight of the show, I think. I attended the CBD Railway Precinct Safety Committee meeting that is made up with VicPol, councillors attending, and business owners within Pakenham central area of shopping, and a lot of discussion is about the environment and being safe, and suggestions from business owners as well as people within the community. Very productive environment. Councillor Kowalczyk attends it as well. So really, really great environment to be in. Remembrance Day, have to always bring that up because it's such a time to share stories and share environments of many memories with our veterans, and lest we not forget our veterans. I was lucky enough to, in an auction 2 years ago, I bidded for the editor of the day at the local Gazette, and we finally got that together. And what we were working on was about mental health and mental health services within our community. I'm a strong advocate, have been since 1970, and I'll keep advocating till the day I can't do it anymore. There was quite a few pages spread of mental health and mental health services, and we will be working on that quite intensely and continually for a long time with the partnerships at council. And we have 20 partnerships that are working with a mental health and wellbeing strategic group that's just come back together. But we're called an action team now. So, and that's made up of different partnerships within our community of different organisations. We come together, we have discussions about how we can service our community, how we can go about it, and also involving our MPs, and also we will be involving our GPs, any specialists within the areas. And over the past couple of days, I've been hosting workshops for mental health and Wellbeing. And one of them was to host a group for the Victorian Mental Health Wellbeing Plan. So the information will go back to this government. And so the group was made up of 10 people, and it was a selected amount of people because we didn't want a large group, but also it was a group of selected age groups, and it was the mature, seniors and veterans this time. And through the Royal Commission, that's the age group that's missing out on all these services. So we need to validate what they had to put in to this workshop. It was very productive, and so from there the submissions will go into the wellbeing plan. I'm so proud of the group that was there. They were so active. They didn't hold back, and I will look forward to the councillors and the community seeing the outcome, because it was a community engagement. So thank you. That's all I've got to mention, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Ryan. Is there any other councillors who have something to report? Councillor Davies, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. It's certainly been a huge month. It's certainly been a huge month. Firstly, I'd like to take this opportunity to publicly congratulate our new Mayor, Councillor Tammy Radford, our new Deputy Mayor, Councillor Jack Kowalczyk. It's been an honour to work with you both, and thank you for taking on these leadership positions. I'm very excited about our year ahead together. And to our outgoing Mayor, Councillor Springfield, thank you. I remember your offer of listening, of helping when we first started 2 years ago, and that's outstanding leadership, so thank you. Just last week, I attended the Lakeside Residents Group quarterly social night, along with Ms. Georgia Davies-Jackson, Council's team leader of community engagement. The Lakeside Residents Group have been busy. These volunteers ran an amazing Halloween event with 200 children, and are currently planning a Christmas event, a New Year's Eve event, and an Australia Day event. They're also about to decorate again the big red ribbons, the lights in the shop windows, and a surprise at the Cardinia Cultural Centre to make. Of the group there last week, it was estimated that the individuals were across about 80 different community groups in the Shire. I'm really glad that our council supports our volunteers with grants, and I'm hopeful that we can continue to do this in the future. Thank you very, very much to all volunteers. Council's also very busy embarking on consultation on next year's financials budget. A series of pop-up consultation booths have started and are scheduled around the Shire in the lead up to Christmas. I'm very excited about joining our council officers and meeting with residents and having these important conversations. We've also held internal discussions about our sporting clubs and their facilities. Our growing populations led to huge demand on our pavilions, our reserves, and the staff and the councillors are hearing it. We're working together, and it's not an easy fix, but with clever scheduling and planning, we're hoping to help our community enjoy enjoy being active and enjoy being connected. And finally, we are nearing a state election. I'm certainly watching closely. I've been lucky enough to meet most of the candidates for the new Pakenham officer seat, and from those who I have met, they're genuine local people who want the best for Cardinia, just like me and the rest of council, and any of which I'm really looking forward to working with. So I'd like to wish the best of luck to them all. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Davies. Any other councillors? Councillor Springfield.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to make a quick mention of an event I went to yesterday, the Warilla Poetry Prize. And it was hosted in Emerald at the Hills Hub, and fantastic venue for it too. It was great to see a Sunday afternoon, and it was buzzing with 60 odd people in there, enjoying the art space. They had some live music and entertainment there, utilising the baby grand piano that was donated by the old Mechanics Hall committee there. It's but look, great facility. But the Warilla Poetry Prize is a great annual event that they host up in Emerald, but it's focused worldwide. They're thinking of calling it the International Poetry Prize, because they had entrants from India, from New York, from Europe. There was all across the board. People found out about this. It's been running since 1989, I'm told. Maria Millers is the founder, and she first founded the Warilla Poetry Journal and then the Poetry Prize in 1989, and has been running ever since. So really hats off and commend that group for the great work they do in cultivating and encouraging the arts. And there's so many aspects of the arts, you know, and it's not just visual arts, it's not just performing arts, but also written word and the art form of poetry. And to hear a number of the poets get up and speak their poems, and to hear the advocates such as Maria speak about poetry and the impact it makes, it has had in her life and others. Yeah, it was really nice to be a part of. So it's a big thank you to them. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Springfield. Are there any other councillors? Councillor Ross, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. The other day, I attended with many of our council staff and councillors the Walk Against Violence in Pakenham, and that was really, really well represented by so many hundreds of people who have acknowledged that something needs to be done and we need to make a stand against violence within our community. We've had several issues in the past that have been really sad and touched so many people in our community. And it's one way that people can proactively do something to get out there and make a stand and let people know that they recognise that and they want to be part of the solution. I must say, I heard our mayor and our deputy mayor speak at the event, and it was refreshing to see, like I'm one of the old sort of end of council, but it was really good to see different people up there sharing their vision and their view on this issue, and it was really just really refreshing. So thank you very much. I must say it was really well represented by the police and different organisations. The Rotary Club again put on sausages outside, which was great, so people could get something at lunchtime as well. So that was really well attended. I must say I attended the cultural and linguistically diverse group, the Call Community Group. And I must say, Councillor Kowaczyk, this was the first committee that I was on with him when we first started on council. And he said to me, could I be chair? He said, I'll sort of see how I go. And he did a really good job. He's been really inclusive. He's had people come along who always felt really welcomed. And that was our last meeting for the year. And just an idea around this group. Individuals born in Cardinia Shire from the last census to this one went from 19 to 23%, and that's only going to get greater as time goes on. So therefore, 1 in every 4 people were born overseas, and if we're a new entrant, we would like those people to feel really welcome in our Shire and feel part of it. And it's really good to be able to get their feedback in the advisory group about what they envisage that we can do better and what they would like to contribute to it. Plus, too, they're an excellent group that go back to the groups that they come from to share what's happening with inside Cardinia Shire. And this was particularly evident during the COVID issues when we asked them, how can we connect better with your groups and what are your groups saying in relation to what we're doing? I also attended the Cardinia Interfaith Network meeting, and this group's been going for, I think, 17 or 18 years. And basically their vision statement is the Cardinia Shire Interfaith Network agrees to meet and build relationships of respect, understanding and acceptance between all faiths, beliefs, cultures and traditions in Cardinia Shire. The network welcomes the opportunity to promote and understand, celebrate diversity and explore traditions and cultures. I think that's been really evident because most of the people who attend this group go back to their groups and they run things like Diwali, they run the Sikh festivals. They actually volunteer for all of the things like Yakabu and all the things that we've traditionally run, which is excellent to see these groups come along and participate. I must mention a couple of people, our very long-standing chairperson, Chris Bernard, who's been amazing in that role. She's been there, I think, for 7 or 8 years being the chairperson. She did a calendar a few years ago where she designed every single page. She's a designer, so she made the whole calendar herself. And then we produced 1,500 of them. I must say Munir, who's the vice chairman, he actually created the Taste of Faith and he did all the work behind that. And he does an amazing job as well. The treasurer, Wayne Salisbury, and Elise, the secretary, Elise Watson, have been long-standing members as well. They turn up all the time. They're really they offer any help we can, and in return we try and offer our facilities to allow them to have their meetings here. So that's a really, really good group. I attended as well the Waste Expo in the city at Jeff's Shed. I always find it really interesting to go along, being a waste tragic, to have a look for innovation, to see what other people are doing really well. And once we get one of our meetings here where we have a bit more time and waste comes up again, I'll be able to share a little bit more about some of the innovative things I saw there. I must say there was one product that really caught my eye. It was actually like a big clip that goes over your rubbish bin. And what it does is it stops rubbish from flying open, or even if it falls over, it won't open the lid. And yet when a truck comes along, it puts the tongs around, and then when it squeezes it, it opens the top. So it can actually be emptied and come back down. And this is being put into Surf Coast Council at the moment because they have a big problem with things blowing over, rubbish going everywhere. That was one of the innovative things. I won't go into other things I saw, but that was excellent to go and visit that. Something that I do on a bi-monthly basis or thereabouts is one of our general managers, Peter Benezek, comes along with some of us on our journeys around our wards. And some of the things that we actually do in our wards, which is really amazing. We go and have a look at the open space maintenance and we walk around those. I spent a couple of hours with Peter the other day. The open space, we look at the pathways, the graffiti, the damage, the theft at different places. We look at the playgrounds. We talk about the upgrades to the playgrounds and upgrades to other things within our area. We talk about the signage, which in my area could be snakes, it could be dog off leash areas, it could be waste that people need to leave in bins rather than throw it everywhere. We have a look at unseen areas in the ward. I took Peter down some roads he didn't even know existed with some properties down there, which he now has a good idea about where they are. But unless you actually got shown, you would never know they were there. We talk about future designs on options, and Peter having a wealth of experience on sporting projects. We walk around and we have a look at the maintenance sort of level of them and go, how the hell would you maintain that with a mower if you put things in certain areas? And he shares with me some of his experience. We talk about drainage. We look at the upgrades of halls and facilities, security issues where there might be issues, where there can be security issues. We have a look at the sports facilities and the usage of them. We discuss that, who might be using them and where we might be able to improve our interaction. And then we go past many schools. I've got many schools in my ward, and we talk about some of the issues that are pertaining to those, particularly new ones and some of the old ones. So that's excellent. I know some of my fellow councillors take that opportunity up as well and go round, and he's always accommodating, and before you know it, you turn up and things are done. So I think our General Manager, Peter Benezek. Also too, I attended with some of my fellow councillors, the Gembrook Reserve, and of which they did an amazing job with their advocacy and support from federal, state, and the money that they put in through council to provide it. Okay, my last item.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
A facility that is absolutely outstanding. They've gone from having a ground that used to be underwater that you couldn't really use at all to an area now where they can run finals and grand finals, and they're actually the pride of the hills, they've told me. So that's excellent to see that they've managed to get that facility. Anyway, I will leave some other things for people to say if they've gone to the same things I have. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you so much, Councillor Ross. Councillor Cameron.
Thank you, Mayor. Remembrance Day, I just want to reiterate what Councillor Ryan said about Remembrance Day. And last Wednesday night, I went to a Lang Lang Town meeting in relation to the lack of police presence in the town. It was really well attended, and hopefully we are able to get something happening for the group. They do plan to put a I'm having a mental blank right about now. To have something tabled before Parliament next year in relation to getting a policeman at Lang Lang. There's a wonderful police station there and it's not manned. So it will also flow over to Kuirup as well. So yeah, that's been my week. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Cameron. Councillor Moore.
Thank you, Mayor. I promise not to be too long-winded tonight, but I'll just pick a few items out where I've been to, and what it is, it's a pleasure to be out in the public, out at these events with my fellow councillors and sharing these events that we go to. It's really great to go to, and I say to my fellow councillor alongside me, Councillor Ryan, yes, we did go to the show, the scones and creams. They go straight to my hips. Is the only problem with that, but it was a great show with the Louis Armstrong and Ella Fitzgerald tribute show. It was really fantastic to go and be there with the packed house. I don't think, yes, of course, Councillor Ross was there. I don't think I've ever seen that auditorium fully booked out and you couldn't move in that. So it was a really great atmosphere to have there, and it was a really great night. I know that Councillor Ryan and I both shared, we do know all the words to the songs. We found that out. But other than that, well, during senior week, there was a dance in Pakenham, which is the dance at our public hall. There was a few of our councillors there. Councillor Cameron was there, I know, and Councillor Ron, we had a few dances. And Councillor Ross also was here with his lovely wife, Carmel. It was emceed by our senior citizen, Ian Wake, on the day, and the Rotary Club of Pakenham, who ran it. And the Silhouettes did a fantastic job. The band there did a really good job, and I represented the Mayor there on the day to speak. So it was really great to be there, and an honour to do that all the same. It was really great to do the citizenship ceremonies the other day with our newly elected Mayor, and did a fantastic job on the senior citizen, the citizenship ceremony. I mean, I'm getting the senior citizens and citizenships a bit like the 222s getting mixed. And it was a really great, and you did a really fantastic job, Mayor, on the job, and so did our manager of governance. Is it Sir Doug Evans in that spot? Could do a great job, Sir. I've just elevated you, Doug. It does a great job with the names there. It's a really great thing to go and do as a community. Of course, we were there with our CEO as well as, and Councillor Jack Kowalczyk as well. Two more points. We did a primary school information day that I went to with the Mayor, and what a great thing that is. If any councillor here has the opportunity to go to a primary school and talk to the 6th graders or the 5th graders, whichever, and talk about the role of a councillor and the role of a mayor and what they are, and the responsibilities that go with it, it's a really fantastic thing to do. And I was only honoured to be chaperoned by the Mayor on the day. She did all talking. I was just there as on the side, but it was a really great day, and the questions asked by these young people is really enlightening. So if you ever get the opportunity to do that, I just say that really take it up. We should promote it a little bit more often, I think, because it's a really great thing to go and do that. So it was great to be with you. There's just the Remembrance Day, and I also did Remembrance Day. I had 4 wreaths in the car, and my car was like a florist car on the day. It smelled of flowers, and it was just fantastic. But I got 4 of them down, but I can't be in 4 places at once at 11 o'clock. But I went to Nanagoon. I decided to go to Nanagoon. I usually go from Nanagoon, or I'll do Bunyip, whichever, because they both have a ceremony at 11 o'clock. But the Nanagoon sub-branch of the RSL did a really great job on the day. One more thing on Remembrance Day, and this is going to be my last bit, Mayor, if you may. I just want to just say thank you to the CCC, the Cardinia Cultural Centre, for the beautiful display they did on Remembrance Day, for the lighting they did on the walls. What a great job they did. I don't know whether anyone's seen what they did on the walls at the Cardinia Cultural Centre, but it was just fantastic on Remembrance Day. What a great tribute. And I just wanted to thank the staff for getting that down. It was really great to see. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Moore. Councillor Kowalczyk.
Thank you, Mayor. It's been great not to go over too much old ground. I have attended a number of events with Councillor Ryan in Pakenham, which have been really nice. Thank you for mentioning Remembrance Day and the CBD meetings that we go to together. I just wanted to reiterate that and say the Pakenham RSL and their president, Gary Elliott, did a great job of the service. It was a wonderful service, and it was really nice to go back to the rooms and have a meal and share a story. So that was really well done. Also wanted to thank VicPol for their work they do in our meetings, because they do a great work in sort of collaborating with council and the business owners in the Pakenham CBD, which is a really tough job. So just wanted to thank VicPol for that as well. I won't go over any ground that we've covered. I did have the pleasure of representing the previous Deputy Mayor at opening the 2022 Emerald Arts Society annual exhibition for the first time at the Hills Hub. So that was an absolute privilege. I just want to thank Glenn Hambleton, the President, for welcoming me, and all the people up there in Emerald at the Hills Hub were fantastic. The artwork was exquisite, and it was nice to see in their awards they had, your standard awards that you would have, but they also had awards sort of between 10 to 15-year-old as well, in those younger sort of categories. So it was really nice to see them highlight young people and the artwork they were doing. And the last one I want to mention, Councillor Ross touched on interfaith before, but I did have the pleasure of representing the previous Mayor, Councillor Springfield, at the Interfaith Network's Taste of Faith event. And that was a real pleasure, because I don't have as much to do with interfaith as Councillors Ross and Ryan do. So it was really nice to be invited to speak there. This event was actually celebrating 10 years of the Taste of Faith concept in Cardinia. I just wanted to thank Joan Vogel and Munir Zaman, as you mentioned, who's a member of the Court Advisory Group, just for all their work that it was really a fantastic event. I mean, it's so hard to put these events on. You have so many different community groups all trying to push their own message, but yeah, it was really great to get down there, and it was just nice to see the smiles on the kids' faces who were invited to dance and sing. So really well done from everyone. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Kowaczyk. Thank you, everyone, for your reports. It is so great to hear, that we're all so active out there in the community, and it's really exciting to hear what we're all doing. So thank you. I'll just move on to presentation of petitions. Do any councillors have a petition to submit? We have none, so we will move on. No two notices of motion. I will, Councillor Ross has declared a conflict of interest. Thank you, Councillor Ross. So, Councillor Cameron, you have lodged a notice of motion 1076. Do you wish to move your notice of motion?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, I do wish to move my notice of motion. That a report outlining the circumstances, legal advice, options and recommendations around the potential reimbursement of Councillor Colin Ross's legal expenses, which were incurred during the council investigation into his expenses in 2020, be brought to a confidential meeting of the council no later than the March 2023 General Council meeting.
Thank you, Councillor Cameron. Can I please ask for a seconder? Councillor Ryan. I'll go to the mover to speak, please.
Thank you, Mayor. This report would enable all of the councillors to get a clear understanding of the circumstances surrounding the accruement of these legal expenses, and a full understanding of just how the legal expenses came about in the investigation into Councillor Ross's travel expenses during the 2020. So I really have nothing further to add. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Cameron. I'll go to the seconder to speak, please.
Through you, Mayor, I'll reserve my right to speak.
Thank you, Councillor Ryan. Are there any other councillors who would like to speak? Councillor Springfield, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Look, unfortunately tonight I won't be supporting this notice of motion, and with all due respect of what Councillor Cameron would like to achieve for Councillor Ross out of this, and it comes with all due respect for Councillor Ross, but I think in June, this, for me, it feels like we've kind of put in the cart before the horse, because in June they presented a notice of motion to ask for a council decision, and now we're asking for a report to then make a decision on what was already made. The council made a decision in June on this very question. I think it would have been a better process if perhaps the report was asked for first before there was a decision, but noting that the council in June made a decision on this very question, I don't see the relevance to then go back and and present a report to then make a decision again when it was already made. So I won't be supporting this tonight. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Springfield. Do I have any other councillors who would like to speak? Councillor Davies.
Thank you, Mayor. I have struggled with this one, not on my position, but as to whether or not I speak on this tonight. Councillor Ross could approach us directly. He could be upfront. He could ask us himself. He hasn't. If he did, we could direct the CEO to sort it out, maybe an independent panel. But I'm a very firm believer that the standard you walk past is the standard you accept. And with all due respect, I consider this very disappointing politics, Councillor Cameron. I consider it gutter politics. And Councillor Ryan, I've observed Councillor Ross as your confidant, your coach, and a loyal working relationship, and yet you've seconded this and brought it back
Councillor
up again.
Davies, can we just stay on point to the notice of motion, please?
Okay.
Thank you.
My biggest concern is that there may be an agenda with this, an agenda that isn't in Councillor Ross's best interest, an agenda that isn't in Council's best interest and not in the community's best interest. This is a public motion for a report that wouldn't be public, a report that wouldn't provide no new information. A myriad of documents has already been provided and I read them. I asked questions and I believe there is no question that there was unreasonable travel claims. The local government inspectorate didn't proceed with charges. They did make recommendations to council which have been actioned to tighten things up. But councillors, we all know that. So we didn't need, so I believe that this appears to me that it may be an endeavour to hurt Councillor Ross. He's claimed it's causing anguish and distress to his family, this whole process, to others, not to me, because he doesn't speak about it to councillors. I would hate to think that there is an agenda to cause a mental health breakdown.
Councillor Davies, that's just a presumption. Can you please talk to the notice of motion, please?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
The standard you walk past is the standard you accept. Our Shire deserves better. This is not acceptable, not now and not ever. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Davies. Do we have any other speakers? Councillor Moore, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll just keep this short. I'm stating that I won't be supporting this notice of motion. I do believe, as Councillor Springfield has mentioned, that all the information back from June has been delivered. I don't think this notice of motion will prove any better than what we've already received already, and I don't think it'll add anything to Councillor Ross's argument of the expenses that he's claiming. So I can't see the reason for wasting staff's time and going through this whole same motion again. Doing like having Groundhog Day on this notice of motion is, I can't see what it's going to bring to the argument. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Moore. Do we have any other councillors wishing to speak? Nope. I'll go back to the seconder, please. Councillor Ryan.
Through you, Mayor. I just want to make a point to Councillor Davies. Those accusations are untrue of what you have made in reference to Councillor Ross and me. And I would require an apology for making those accusations. In reference to this, we haven't sorted it out. We need clarification of why the expenses were incurred. We keep going around the circle, and I don't believe that there has been a clear, precise decision made other than the inspectorate saying that he was not found guilty of anything. So I will be in support of your motion, Councillor Cameron, and I'll leave it at that. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Ryan. I'll now go back to the mover to sum up, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Councillor Ryan. And yes, Councillor Davies, I expect an apology to you from you as well in relation to accusing me of gutter politics. that was uncalled for, and it is just not the right thing to do.
Thank you, Councillor Cameron. We'll move
So,
on. Thank you.
yes, Councillor Ross has incurred these expenses, and I think the report would allow everybody to see where the expenses were, where the money was spent and how it was spent. So I just think that it is the right and proper thing to do, to have this report tabled at council so everybody can understand. And it's the right and proper thing to do morally. So every 3 months I can bring this notice of motion back to council. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we will now put this to a vote. All those in favour? All those against? Thank you. Councillor Ryan has called a division. Can I please ask all those in favour? Councillor Moore. I will call Councillor Cameron, Councillor Ryan and Councillor Kowalczyk. Thank you. All those against? Thank you. Now you can stand. Councillor Davies, Councillor Springfield, Councillor Moore and Councillor Radford, myself. Thank you. I declare that lost. Thank you. Yes, thank you. We'll just ask for Councillor Ross to come back into the room, please. Thank you, Councillor Ross. Okay, we are now up to community questions time, and we have received a question from Fran Healy regarding the level crossing removal project in Station Street, Beaconsfield. Can I please ask if Miss Healy is here in the gallery? Thank you. Thank you. I'll refer your question to Peter Benezik, the General Manager of Infrastructure and Environment, to read and answer your question. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Fran, for your question. I'll read out your question. Does Council have any concerns regarding the level crossing removal program in Station Street, Beaconsfield, given that plans include acquiring a historically significant building, namely Railway House at 20 Beaconsfield Avenue, in order to construct a bridge over rail? Council recognises the value of the Station Master's house and the tree to the community as having heritage significance. We are aware of the community's concerns and recognise how crucial it is to make an effort to protect this heritage property. Council is considered a stakeholder in the design process and will seek to influence the outcomes, although will not be the final decision maker. This will be the Minister of Planning who will determine the outcomes of the project. In their formal engagement for the project, Council has provided a submission alongside the community submission, emphasising the importance of protecting this heritage site, and will continue to advocate for the best outcome for the community. Thank you. Question 2. There are further concerns by the community about the intention of the level crossing removal to encroach into Cardinia Creek wetlands, which therefore has the potential to damage and threaten flora and fauna in this area. The land in question is currently flooded. And the response is, Council also recognises the environmental sensitivities in this area in terms of flooding, flora and fauna. The project is required to undertake both federal and state legislations to consider the environmental impacts on this area. Council has and will continue to advocate for the best outcomes in a difficult and tightly constrained design area and still deliver a much needed project for the travelling community of Beaconsfield and the surrounding areas, whilst minimising the impact on the environmentally sensitive areas. Council will seek to collaborate through the design process to advocate for careful consideration to limit impacts on this area. Thank you for your questions.
Thank you, Mr. Benazak. Well, that concludes tonight's agenda items. I'd like to thank all councillors for their participation, our council officers and the gallery for attending. I now declare the meeting closed. Thank you.